My name is Laura Alpizar. I am from the tropical lands of Costa Rica, although now I live in the tundra. So I'm in Minnesota now. For the last 12 years, I've done wedding photography, and I got into it accidentally. I just started shooting my coworkers' weddings, and I really loved it. And that's how I started doing weddings and eventually quit my full-time job. I would say to get to know your clients a bit more. What's their vibe? Are they more nostalgic? Are they more goofy? You can tell that just by asking them, like, so tell me a little bit more about you. And it just comes out really quick. Sometimes I even ask, what are 2 words that describe your family? And they can tell me, oh, we are active. And then, they're outdoorsy. They want to be moving. And then you can tailor your session a little bit more for them. I like the idea of prompts of like making your clients do something more than just sit there and smile. The only thing is like you can get stuck on those prompts and then they don't fit everyone. They're not exactly the same. Like some people are goofy, some are more mellow. So I think the idea of having your clients do something like a direction instead of just a pose, that is what you have to focus and just make up your own prompts instead of like the same 5 prompts that I see over and over. Well, for families that are more than 3 people, I do want to do like the look at the camera photo first, because that's what everyone's ready for. And then I'll just, okay, we have that one. We have the family card, and then we can go straight into moving. Anything and everything we walk in. So walk-in makes people move a little different. Running, I think I love the running ones because people don't expect them. Like I'll just step aside and give them 8 to 9 feet. And once they're there, they're like, what is happening? And I'm like, okay, now run or like race towards me. And people love the race. Kids love the race, and couples that are competitive love the race too. And then you get some fun ones in the afterwards, when like they're like, that was fun. That little bit moment of relaxing. Any other movement ones that are like playing, doing circles, hugging in different ways. Sometimes I do that. Like, show me a couple ways that you would hug each other. And then that shows you as well how they tend to show their affection. I point it out. I'm like, oh, I'll try to make fun of the moment and point it out and be like, I know this is so awkward, right? We're just gonna keep doing it, and then it can kind of helps loosen them up. Sometimes I say, if you don't loosen up, I have to come tickle you, and then it gets really awkward. Another way to say is like, okay, pretend that you like each other, and that helps a little bit because they're like, oh, we do. I make a fool of myself sometimes, being a little bit of a jokester, keeping them with their minds off pictures. Not everything has to be a ha-ha moment. Not everything has to be smiling. I tell them, if you don't feel like smiling, don't force it. I'd rather wait for that smile and have you look like pleasantly relaxed. And then at some point, I think everyone will have at least 2 moments of good smiles. That's all I really need. Couples are more about the interaction with each other. There's more sentiments, there's more kissing, obviously. So I approach it still starting with like movement and a dynamic, but I approach it to like finally tone it down at the end to allow for that space of connection and showing the lovey-dovey part, because that's my favorite. With family, I think it's just keep going the fun. And then there's usually like different dynamics. Mom and dad have their couple dynamic, but there's also them and the babies or them and the bigger kids. So there's movement at the beginning while I figure out what is the dynamic and what is the best way they interact with each other. And there's still moments of connection and moments that are a little more mellow. And once I see them, I still love to allow for that space and let them happen and not interrupt. I think choosing locations that are familiar to them, something that is where they go for hikes or they have a special attachment to the place. And also looking for more private spots versus places that are crowded. I like locations that allow for multiple spots. So we can start here, go over here, and then over there with just different little backgrounds. I want to make sure I have ample space for them to move. And I think that helps to keep the session dynamic and not boring. I would say 90% of my sessions are natural light. I like to make sure I have a good lighting to start with, like either golden hour light or open shade or something that's going to be flattering from every angle that they move. But I do use a little bit of artificial light, especially weddings, where I can't control the time we're shooting that much. Sometimes I need that little bit of fill in light for sunny situations or darker situations or indoors as well. And I do bring like a softbox and everything. I do bring an assistant. So it feels a little more dynamic and it's not just the light is here, I have to drag it, someone is at least following us and following the movement and the right angles. I sent a PDF with wardrobe ideas for all kinds of couples and families. It includes different tones of skin ideas, how to combine if you're like same sex couples, if you're going to bring your puppy as well. I mean, ideas of what to wear and what goes good with what. And then I just write up some email tips depending on what they're going to be doing, but mainly is like weather tips. What happens if you have rain or snow or horrible heat, where to be, where to meet exactly, text me when you arrive there, my phone number right there. And also some tips like what are the expectations? Like I don't expect you to be a model. I know it's going to be awkward at the beginning, but I also say think of it as a date. And if you can take the day off, make it a whole day thing. So you're feeling more relaxed. It helps a ton because people are like, okay, they know what to expect. And that's a huge thing when it comes to nerves. Most of the time I do only one change of clothes. It can like make the spontaneity that I'm shooting for less and less if you do more than one outfit change because you're like way too concerned about your wardrobe and then you forget about the relaxing part and the connection and all that fun stuff. I used to just have them change in the car and I would tell them be prepared for adventure because most of the places we go it's outside, there's no bathrooms. I do have a pop-up tent now that I bring and pop it up and people change in there. It's awesome. Yeah, I asked them to text me pictures of the outfit just to make sure like nothing is a no. Like a big logo or a crazy pattern. It also helps me to think a little bit more even about what they're expecting to look. Like if they send me tuxedos, like or like a suit and a long dress, I know they're expecting a little bit more, classic feeling. But if they send me jeans and a t-shirt, then I know what they're up for as well. There are a couple of great resources on prompts and stuff like that for people that are starting. There's an app called Unscripted, which helps a ton for ideas and prompts and examples that you can see. There are a couple of Facebook groups that you can jump in. One is called Promptography or something like that. And they have tons of prompts and ideas. Facebook groups are just really good for that to get you started at the beginning and just get you to like a comfort level that you're like, okay, at least I know 100 prompts already. Now I can tailor them to my couples and to my sessions and then start practicing them on everyone like just offer sessions to your family, friends. And that gets you like, oh, what is a normal flow? So you're not doing like post to post. Even with prompts, you can fail to do just post to post. It doesn't flow the same. It doesn't let people relax. They're just going to be looking at you for the next piece of direction. What you want to do eventually is just let people know that they're safe with you. They're fine to be themselves. And we're just interacting and moving around. Kind of like a date when you're just hanging out with them.